Hello and welcome to my second impression to Juni Taisen Zodiac War. So I'm sure you're wondering why am I doing a second impression. It was my original intention to do episodic reviews this season, and I'm kinda really far behind on that. There are some shows that I haven't even started, and the ones that I did, I have not continued. So instead of shotgunning 3 different reviews for this series, I figured I'd just do a second impression with episodes 2 through 4. So if you're not wanting any spoilers, and just want my opinion, go watch the series. It's pretty good so far, but if you stay, I'm going to be saying some pretty big spoilers for the next few episodes. So, with that out of the way, I would like to say that the biggest thing I was questioning at the end of the first episode, besides if the boar actually died, which she totally did, would be if the series kept up with its no main character format. And I'm glad to say so far that it seems to be. Every episode has followed a different protagonist. Well, I hesitate to call them protagonists, but every episode follows a different contestant, and you find out the backstory inside that episode. But going into episodes 2 and 3, I started noticing a worrying trend with the series, and was really afraid that the next person who was going to die was never going to be predictable, or was never going to be unpredictable, because the first 3 episodes had the main character of that episode die. And that's a pretty straightforward trend right there. The boar, the dog, and the chicken each died inside the episode that you found out their backstories. And I was really just wanting this to not be the trend for the entire series. Thankfully, inside the 4th episode, we meet the monkey. And if it happened to the monkey too, I was going to give up on ever being surprised by this series ever again. Because she was the first character, besides the boar, because she was the one who you followed in the first episode, who looked important, like in the first episode. She's the first one who we followed who looked important since the first episode, I mean. In that, like, she's the one who tried to form the peace group. She's the one we keep cutting back to a little bit inside different episodes with her and the rat. And, like, if she died in this episode, I was basically going to give up on... my hair's a mess. I was basically going to give up on ever being surprised by this series. So, and also, I noticed that the order that people are dying is also very similar to the order that people appear in the credits. If you remove the snake, every person who has died is the order that they appear inside the credits. And even disregarding that, the order of the people in the credits is exactly the order that you learn about people. Like, find out their backstories. Is the boar, the dog, the chicken, the monkey, and next is the sheep. And the next episode is about the sheep, according to the episode preview. So, even if it's not the order that people are dying, it looks like the credits is telling you the order that you're going to find out people's backstories. And you could probably go off of that to figure out, give or take, when a lot of people can be dying. Like, the people appearing near the end of the credits will probably last longer, since it sounds like you won't find out the backstories for a long time. But I'm kind of hoping that's wrong, because that also makes the series somewhat predictable, but I think that's going to be the trend that they're going to lean towards. At the very least, I expect it to... I expect them to lean towards... At the very least, I'm kind of expecting it to go the Final Destination route, and you can kind of expect each character to die in the order that they appear in the credits, and if they don't, then it skips to the next one, and it won't be recycling around, but, like, I kind of expect that. But yeah, I really respect the way that this series is handling its main characters, not so much in the kind of predictable fashion that they're dying, but in just the fact that there's not a single protagonist so far, which is something that I can't really think of another series doing, even inside these Battle Royale formats. Now, to preface that, I've heard a lot of people say... Now, to preface that, I've heard a lot of people say that this series is very similar to the Fate series, which I actually haven't watched before. I have a friend who really wants to watch it with me, and we're kind of backlogged on the anime that we're watching. So I've been holding off on watching the Fate series, regardless of all the good stuff that I've heard about it, to watch it with him. But yeah, I know basically nothing about it, and I'm bringing it up now just in case they also follow this no main character format, because that might be why a lot of people are saying how similar they are. But I really don't know. I know that a lot of people love Saber, but like I've tried to stay away from that series like the plague with any information about it, so I actually don't know if Saber's the main character or not, or just everyone loves her or him. I think it's a girl. That's how much I've stayed away from that series. Anyways, I'm getting a bit off track. I'd say that moving into the end game of the series, I'm expecting the monkey and the rat to end up making it to the end, as well as either the ox or the rabbit or both. Most of the other characters haven't stood out so far. I don't expect the sheep to make it, the tiger, the horse might already be dead, but I'm really not sure. And then there's the other twin, who I thought was going to be the Gemini, but I think they've called him something else, but I forget what it is at this point. I think there's also the dragon, who, like, we're missing a character still. I think if you count them up, we've only seen 11 characters, and I expect the last one to be the dragon, so he'll probably end up being important as well. And if we end up getting a single main character, it will probably be the rat, but so far, the show has stayed enough away from him where it's hard to call him the main character, even though he has the general profile of a male protagonist in one of these series. He's kind of lazy, he doesn't seem too worried about what's going on around him, but you get the feeling that he's going to end up being really strong, and he's also inside the good guy group. But he also does not seem to be nearly as much of a pacifist as the monkey is. He seems perfectly fine with killing people, and even seems to have malice towards normal people. So he may not be as much of a generic protagonist as I thought he might be. So I'm hoping we see more of that moving forward. That aside, I don't think I have too much more to say. I hope the show doesn't stay too predictable with who dies. We've skipped the monkey, but now I'm kind of expecting the sheep to die now that she didn't. But we'll see moving forward. I've been enjoying the series, and I hope you have been too. And I hope you have a good day. Peace.